I go in the buffet. Normally it's a quiet place. It's off a highway, okay? Nice people. No one bothers you. I walk in, I get my plate, and there's a table of four, I don't know how to describe them, all very, very gray-haired oldsters, a little older than me, but all gray and old. And they're loud, so loud it's shocking, and they're putting down Israel. Did you know the New York Times wrote in 1967, the Israelis went in and used gas on the Palestinians? I couldn't believe what I was listening to. Now, it was not a private conversation in that she was screaming so that everyone had to listen to her. I know this type of troublemaking liberal. I've seen them all over the Bay Area my whole life. They look like they're nice people, but they're the type that brought Hitler to power. They look like they're nice people, but they're fascists in their heart. They look like nice old people, but they're the most troublemaking people in society. They're usually members of the League of Women Voters. They're far-left radicals. They supported Barbara Boxer. They look at the other way when Barbara Boxer scandals emerge on the land redevelopment schemes that her and her family's been involved in. They've looked the other way on Obama's scandals. And what did they attack? Who did they attack? Not Muslims cutting people's heads off, not Muslims killing homosexuals, but how bad the Israelis were. So I listened to it and my blood started to boil, and I said, look, I'm a public figure, I really shouldn't say anything, but she was louder. Now, these are very old people, but she's screaming and bothering everyone in the restaurant. So I looked at them and I said, I'm a Zionist and you can all go to hell. And I walk into the next room and sit down and I eat my chicken and curry, and my blood starts to boil. I'm about finishing my meal when a young man walks in, kind of trepidatiously, and he says, Michael Savage? I said, yes. He said, I've been listening to you for years. I said, good for you. Thank you for your listenership. And he says, you know, I was listening to what went on there. Don't you believe in free speech? I said, I certainly do. I live by it. He said, well, they were just exercising their free speech. I said, that's right, but so am I, by expressing my opinion to them. He said, well, don't you think there's room in our society for several different opinions? I said, absolutely, but when I go to a restaurant, if I express any political opinions at all, they're sort of whispered. I don't inflict them on people. I said, this is not a radio station that someone can turn off. There were other people around them trying to eat.
I do not inflict people with my opinions in public places, is what the man just said. Did you hear it? Do I have to repeat that? Well, I'm not going to repeat it. Listen back to it if you didn't catch it. The man has respect when he's out in public places. Unlike myself, I probably would have stood up and threw my chair through the freaking window. That's what I would have done. But Michael Savage and Eddiemanz are two different human beings. And Mr. Savage has a lot more self-control than Eddiemanz does. Because Eddiemanz is in the shithole right now when it comes to his life. And Michael's doing pretty well, okay? I agree 1,000% with Dr. Savage's right to explain to these four people that he is a Zionist and you should all go to hell. God bless him for saying that. You got four people in a restaurant screaming bloody murder that the Palestinians were gassed by the Israelis. Okay, if that's true, if that's not slanted, then the Israeli people who gassed the Palestinians should be in jail right now, and vice versa. You know, but for Savage to come out there and walk up to those people and say, I am a Zionist, you could all go to hell, is freaking great. Do you understand? He's exercising his freedom of speech. That's what he believes. He believes Zionism. Well, he's pro-Zionist. See, what's screwed up today is if you're pro-Zionist, you're a bad person in certain areas. But if you're pro-Muslim, you're a great guy or you're a great woman. It all comes down again to the religious war that they're both fighting. And it has nothing, again, nothing to do with the United States of America. That's what pisses me off. That's why I can care less about both of them. The Zionists and the Islamofascists out there. But I do agree with Mike Savage and his right of freedom of speech to tell those 4 people, go to hell, I'm a freaking Zionist. God bless you, Dr. Savage. And if they don't like it that you're a Zionist, they can go fuck themselves. They can sit around and talk about how the Israelis gassed the Palestinians. That's okay. But if you say you're a Zionist, now you're the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.